Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're joining me for another video. Today we're moving from our tabletop and starting in our child's pose, sinking low, pushing our tailbone down. We are taking a deep breath in through the nose, holding it up at the top, and letting it all out through an exhale through our mouth. Here I have my fingertips raised, sinking my armpits down into the mat for a deeper arm and shoulder stretch. Inhale, rise. We're coming onto our hands and knees into our tabletop. Here we'll move through some cat-cows. I'm exhaling into my cat, rounding the back, rounding the shoulders. Inhale, moving into my cow, lifting the tailbone high, reaching the head long. Exhale, rounding the back, coming into our cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Here I've taken some body rolls, moving in and out through my cat, rotating the body with the head, the hips, getting a good full body stretch. We're going to settle into our tabletop and inhale, lift the right arm, exhale, needle it through underneath the left. Inhale, lift, and think about having that chest open up towards the sky. Exhale, needle it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, needle it through. We're settling that shoulder onto the ground. We're going to lift that right leg. We're taking the left hand and trying to reach for that right foot. If this is too much, go ahead and just leave both knees down on the ground and leave that left hand down on the ground. If you're in this position, we're really thinking about grabbing that foot and balancing on that shoulder and that opposite knee. Exhale, we'll release ourselves from this position, moving back into our tabletop. We'll move to the left side. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, needle it through. Inhale, lift, reaching that chest up towards the sky. Inhale, lift. Exhale, needle it through, placing that left shoulder down on the ground. Inhaling, lifting that left leg off of the ground. We're taking our right hand and we're grabbing that left foot. Again, if this is too much, leave both knees down on the ground and just breathe in that position. This posture helps build up our balance. We'll exhale, release ourselves, move ourselves back into our tabletop position. We'll inhale and move into our heart melting posture or our puppy stance. Your heart is sunk down as your fingers reach up towards the top of your mat. Really lifting your tailbone high. You want to make sure your hips are stacked over your knees. Exhale, we'll move back into our tabletop. We'll inhale, lift our knees off of the ground. Exhale, push into our first downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk it out. Let it feel good. Let it feel comfortable. We'll inhale, lift the right leg, making sure that the hips are still squared and still facing down towards the mat, kicking that back heel up towards the sky. Then we'll open it all the way up, opening up our hips towards the right side, kicking that foot as high as we can. We'll bend the right knee and move into our wild thing. We're placing that right foot towards the back and coming into kind of a mini back bend, balancing on 3 points. If this is too much for you, you can just go ahead and stay in your three-legged dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, place that right leg next to the left hand. Exhale, lift the left hand up into the air. Inhale, we're gonna lift that right leg back into our three-legged dog. Exhale, we're moving into our low crescent, planting that back knee down on the ground. Inhale, reach our hands up, opening up our chest towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're taking an inhale here. And then on our exhale, we're going to straighten that right leg. We're going to think about bringing our belly button down over that right leg, opening up our right hamstring. From here, we're going to move back into our low crescent, straighten the front leg, moving into our half split. Moving back into our low crescent, and from here, we'll push back up into our lunge. Since this is my first chaturanga of the day, I'm taking it easy by planting my knees down first, lowering down and swooping up into my upward facing dog. My knees are still lifted up off of the mat. Exhale, moving back into our downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lift the left leg into the air. Our hips are square, facing down towards the mat. Inhale, we're lifting up even higher, opening up our hips towards the left side. We're going to bend the left knee and move into our wild thing on our left side, balancing on 3 points, our left hand lifted in the air. Inhale, move back into our three-legged dog. Exhale, we're coming to our fallen triangle. That foot meets the hand, right hand lifts up into the air. Inhale, lift back into that three-legged dog. Exhale, we're planting the foot into our low crescent. Inhale, rise up, lengthening stretch through the arms. Exhale, hands towards heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, we're bringing our belly button over that knee. We'll move back into our low crescent. Exhale, back into our half split. This is a great stretch for our hamstrings and a great stretch if you want to get your splits. Moving back into our crescent, we'll move back into our plank. And take our chaturanga, our upward facing dog, and our downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, you'll either step or hop forward into our forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift, coming up with a flat back, coming back to our forward fold. Inhale, standing all the way up into our mountain. In our mountain, our feet are grounded, our heart is lifted towards the sky, our stretch is lengthening, tailbone is tucked. We'll exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, lift back up to mountain. Exhale, we'll come back into our standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway look up with a flat back. Exhale, either step or jump back into our plank. We'll take a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, we'll look towards the top of our mat, either step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into our mountain. Exhale into our cactus. Inhale into our mountain. Exhale back into our standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, step back into our plank. Take a chaturanga. And upward facing dog, downward facing dog. One more time to complete our 3 rounds of our sun salutation. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening stretch in our mountain. Exhale, coming to our cactus. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, down to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, either step or hop backwards. Move through our chaturanga. Inhale into our upward facing dog. Exhale into our downward facing dog. Recognize the energy we just built up and let it settle with you as we continue our practice. We'll inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale, we're rising up into our high lunge. Lengthening stretch through the arms. Heart lifted. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we're going to twist, opening up our chest towards the right side. Fingers spread wide, arms opened up towards the side. We're going to windmill our arms. And we're turning into our warrior 2. Our back foot is planted, our right foot is at a 90-degree angle. We'll inhale, take a reverse warrior, bringing that hand towards the back, stretching the right hand overhead. Exhale, we'll windmill down into our lunge and move through our chaturanga. If chaturangas ever become too much for you during this practice, just go ahead and meet us in a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, plant it through. We're in our high lunge. Lengthening stretch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, opening up towards the left side, keeping our chest Open and lift it. Exhale, windmill the arms and move into our warrior two, feeling strong and powerful here in our stance. We'll inhale, take a reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill the arms down, moving through our chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We'll take a second to breathe here. You can go ahead and bring your knees down to your mat, and we'll sink down into our child's pose. Allow yourself to empty your mind here. You're here in your practice today. Try not to drift off anywhere else. Stay present in this moment and stay conscious. We'll bring ourselves back to our tabletop and push through into our downward facing dog. We'll inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, bring it through. We're coming up into our high lunge. From our high lunge, we're twisting, opening up to the right. Exhale, moving straight into our warrior two. Inhale, lifting the right arm into our reverse warrior. Exhale, this time we're going to turn back into our high lunge. And we're going to inhale, lift into our warrior three. We're shooting off that back foot and placing all of our weight onto the right leg. We're going to inhale the arms forward. And we really want to think about being as flat as we can here. One breath in this posture. We'll inhale, rise up into our standing staff. Our left leg is going to be a 90-degree angle. You can bring your arms out to a T or to heart center. From our standing staff, we're moving into our figure four. You're going to connect that left ankle to the right knee, and you're going to squat down as if you're sitting in your chair. Go ahead and bring hands to heart center and focus here, feeling the balance within you. Exhale, we'll release from our figure four and push back into our high lunge. From our high lunge, we'll inhale, lift. Exhale, move into our warrior two. Inhale, take a reverse triangle, straightening that front leg. Exhale, windmill down, coming into our lunge and taking our chaturanga into our upward facing dog, back into our downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. We'll bring it through, coming into a high lunge. Inhale, we're opening up towards the left side. Exhale, we'll windmill our arms, come into a warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we'll move back into our high lunge. And from here, we're moving into our warrior three. You want to think about shooting off of that back leg and moving your weight onto the left leg. Think about lifting that back leg up into the air as we keep that leg in line with our back. Exhale, we'll move into our standing staff. Again, that right leg is a 90-degree angle. Our weight is planted on that left foot. We'll connect the right knee to the left and squat as if we're sitting in a chair, hands at heart center, focused to remain balanced. Release ourselves from our figure four, moving back into our high lunge. We'll exhale, move into our warrior two, taking a reverse triangle, straightening that front leg. Exhale, windmill down. We'll move into our chaturanga, upward facing dog. The tops of our feet are pressed into the mat and we're lifting our thighs up off of the ground. We're going to move back into our downward facing dog, and then we're going to walk our toes up to meet our hands towards the top of our mat. Here, we're going to move into our ball of yarn. We're going to squat down, coming onto the balls of our feet. Go ahead and wrap your arms around your knees and focus here as you become completely still, balancing here. You're going to exhale, gently release yourselves down onto your mat, back flat, pushing your rib cage down, tucking your tailbone in. We're going to inhale, lift the pelvis off of the ground. One vertebrae at a time, our back lifts, coming into a bridge. Exhale, we'll lower back down one vertebrae at a time again. Inhale, lifting the pelvis. Slowly, really feel this in your back, one vertebrae at a time. You have the option to interlace your fingers behind your back and think about stretching them out towards the top of your mat. Exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time. For the third time, inhale, lift, coming into our bridge, pushing that pelvis up towards the sky, making sure our feet are planted into the ground. Exhale, we'll lower back down. This time you have the option to either continue doing a bridge or come into a full bridge or a full wheel if you have it in your practice. If you are in your full bridge, take some time to explore some different movements. To do a full bridge, you want to think about doing exactly what we just did, but this time you want to take your hands and plant them towards your ears, fingers facing towards the top of your mat. And you're going to inhale, lift your pelvis off of the ground as you push through your arms, push through your palms, lifting your head off of the ground. Wherever you are, gently lower yourself back down, letting your back become flat on your mat. We're going to tuck into a little ball and just do a couple rolls, releasing the tension that we just put on our spine. On your last roll, settle back down and we'll come into a shoulder stand. You want to think about holding onto your lower back and lifting it as high as you can so that you come up onto your shoulders. You have the option to stay here or to move into a plow pose. This is where you bring your feet over your head and place them on the ground atop of your head. Then you also have the option to interlace the fingers. And again, think about reaching them down towards the top of your mat. Exhale, if you're in your plow pose, we'll release and come back into our shoulder stand. Then from here, we'll all move into a diamond shape with our legs still in our shoulder stand. This is a great contrasting stretch to the bridges we just did. Exhale, we will release from our shoulder stand and come back onto the mat. You can hug yourself in a little ball and just rock back and forth. You're gonna hang on to your right knee and lower your left leg down. Take 2 fingers and grab your big toe and bring it out towards the right side. If grabbing the toe is not there for you today, just grab the ankle or the shin or just any part of the leg and bring it out towards the side. Inhale, bring the leg back in. We'll take that right ankle and connect it to the left, coming into a reverse pigeon, grabbing onto the back of the left knee, bring it in gently towards your chest, opening up that right hip. Keeping that right foot hooked, we're planting it down on the left side. Coming back to center. This time we'll hang on to the left knee and send the right knee down to the ground. Again, either grabbing onto the big toe, the foot, the ankle, or the shin, we'll bring that leg out towards the side. Exhale, we'll bring that left ankle to hook onto the right knee. Grabbing behind the right knee, we'll bring it gently towards our chest. Exhale, spinal twist, planting that left leg over towards the right side, stretching out our arms, turning our neck towards the opposite direction. Coming back to center. This time we'll come into a happy baby, grabbing both of our toes at the same time. Again, if the toes are not an option, you can just grab the feet or the ankles. extending the legs before we bring them in, and settle down. I brought my legs into a diamond and settled down onto my back as we take a moment to cool down, as we think of gratitude for the energy we just created and know that we have the power to change our own perspectives in the world, to release the worries and the stresses from our mind, to lose ourselves from our own consciousness and allow ourselves to drift away. Let your body relax. Let the tight muscles in your face dissolve. Breathing here, you have the option to stay in your Savasana. But for my practice here with you guys today, I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.